our 2024 forum on the topic Inspiring Pupils, Empowering Teachers, Harnessing the Power of Tech. This conference stands as a pioneer in fostering global partnerships for the development of world-class educators. We aim to create a platform to bridge experiences, exchange good practices, and gain profound insights into the ever-evolving landscapes of education worldwide. Our distinguished speakers, Mr. Sampath Thirimavithana, Professor Pablo Mugia, Dr. Beshan Kulapala, and Mr. Bhatia Jayakodi, alongside esteemed panelists, Professor Deborah West, Mr. Harsha Randeni, Mr. Kaushal Gunaratna, and Mr. Santosh Veeraman, promise thought-provoking discussions on student inspiration, teacher empowerment, innovative teaching methods, and strategies to navigate challenges in the tech-driven classroom.
Please welcome our chief guest. And continuing with the insights shared by our speakers throughout the day, we will be beginning our panel discussion where the experts converge to share perspectives on our theme for today. Our esteemed panelists are, please take your seat when I call your name, Dr. Deborah West, Vice President and Executive Dean, College of Education, Psychology and Social Work, Flinders University, Australia. Mr. Harsha Randeni, Country Manager, Microsoft Sri Lanka and Maldives. Mr. Santosh Veeraman, Managing Director at SGM Films Private Limited. Mr. Kaushal Gunaratna, CIO and co-founder Unified AR. And Ms. Tusita Ilukpetya, Chief Operating Officer of Gateway Call Group, will moderate the panel discussion.
Good evening, everyone. And we've come to the final segment of today's presentations and the forum. And I'm actually humbled to be amongst this distinguished panel. So let me start with Harsha. So Harsha, at Microsoft, I know you have been very actively engaging in bringing programs together to educate and upskill educators. So can you just share your journey with the experiences you have with our educators, decision makers, and even students?
Firstly, I want to say a big thank for the Gateway College for inviting and hosting this wonderful forum to educate what's important for kids by educating the teachers. From a Microsoft standpoint, we started our Sri Lanka business operation nearly 20 years back. We started a program called Gamata IT. That is the first program that we launched, that we created Nanasala, which is the lab for villagers, for students to access internet. Then we started Innovative Teacher Program, where we started training 5,000 teachers in the country with the basic computer skill sets. So our contribution towards the education, mainly on the curriculum, how you use the new teaching skills with the IT-led model, have been the main focus. So that's the mission that we are running. We gave nearly 3.1 million population of students our platform completely free of charge for the entire country with the Ministry of Education partnership, which we believe that that every student in the country should have the access to the technology despite of the parents' income.
Professor Deborah, just as Harsha mentioned, I'm sure that with what they do, they get in a lot of data where we see what students do with what they're trying to bring into the platforms, teachers, and then as a decision maker and a leader yourself, could you just expand as to how we can use data to elaborate on this transformative journey?
Absolutely. I think it's a really positive thing that there's all of this data. Now, that can be a very powerful thing if we ask the questions in the right ways and we treat that data appropriately. But I guess I always get worried about the use of data in different ways, and there's some cautionary pieces in here. When we think about algorithms and the prompting and the personalized learning, all of that, yes, these machines have learned. It's computer learning. However, they've been programmed by people. So I think we just need to be quite cautious, and I would absolutely reinforce the idea that that data, in my world, is about opening a conversation. It's not about, this is what the data tells me.
Thanks, Deborah. So, Kaushal, he is a pioneer and has been introducing AI to Sri Lanka. I think you were the pioneer in doing that. So when we talk about what Harsha and what Deborah said, we bring in the data and all this, work that organizations like Microsoft are doing. But you, I think, can sum that up with your AI and AR. Beshan today took us through a journey, and I think some of us were quite worried as to what AI and AR can do within the classroom. So could you just tell us as to how we can integrate AI and AR in the classroom, and what you foresee and what we should be worried about?
Sure. So when you look at AR, we are specializing in AR field, not AI field, but there's so many providers in AI, and we are a software company based in Brisbane, Australia. So when we started AR, we looked at the actual technology, and it's not a new technology. It's been there since 1960s, right? But it became mainstream because the devices started catching up, and everything got mainstream. Now, COVID did a massive thing for us. AR before was all app-based, and it's shifted from app-based to web AR since the QR codes and everything was in. So the AR that we are actually developing now is a technology that you can implement right now. So it's practical, it's low cost. You can go home, get an account, upload your assets. Within 60 seconds, you'll have a AR something to show it to your students. Now, AI, how it's changing AR is, even though you have the AR technology, it's really difficult to create content. So AI is now starting to create all these automated content. So you'll see all these traditional software like Photoshop to all that. They are actually built in on AI. So you can create, you can use your smartphones, 3D scan a chair and get AI to actually render it in 3D and upload it into AR. So how I see this implemented in the school is like basically, imagine now, teachers over here, they're the experts in content. They're the experts in teaching, not us. We are technology providers. If you give the technology to the teachers and be able to say, okay, for example, if you're an engineering teacher, your lecture is tomorrow, you're going in front of the kids, they want to play around with the motor, right? Being able to have a QR code on the presentation, people scanning that, actually having, like, able to put that real size machine in front of you and being able to interact, that to me is like, that's powerful. You're bringing theory as well as practical into the same environment. And that's possible right now. So that's what basically what we are doing at the moment. I mean, when you think about what AI and AR could do with all the glasses and all that sort of stuff that's coming out, it's endless. So we don't even think about that right now. And it's exactly like what Professor Deborah said. We collect a lot of data behind this. Every click, every scan, we collect all that information is stored. But how you interpret data is very important, because we don't collect people's privacy information, but at the same time we collect device information, and we use our technology for marketing. So we connect with Facebook to all that as well. So it is, in a way, it's a dangerous world, but at the same time, how we interpret data, how we use that data is a key thing as well.
Thanks, Kaushal. So we come to Santosh. So at Bhathia's session, he was talking to us about your journey, Bhatia and Santosh's journey, and how you sort of changed things, your perspective, what your parents expected of you, and then what you are now. So I think you all have reached a great place, not only in Sri Lanka, but in the world. And what I would like to ask you is, a teacher identifies a student in the classroom, someone with a lot of creativity. Some teachers like to douse that, but others would like to enhance that. What advice would you give these educators when they see such talent?
Since today's entire discussion is about technology, and we have a lot of teachers out here, right? So something that I would like to share from something that I personally would feel is the main reason why we are talking about technology, all these things, is there is a fear that your kid or your child knows about the technology that you want to know way better than you do. So the problem is we really need to get this fear out of technology. Technology is no big deal. We need to be creative. As educators, we need to be creative. My teacher was taking a lesson and they were checking whether the students have memorized Subhashite. So my name is Santosh Veeraman. So alphabetically I come towards the last. W comes towards the last. So now I could hear, and I'm now waiting till my turn comes. So the teacher says, okay, Abhay Singha, come. And then he starts, Kuluno gunen yutu tuman sita maharu. Then after that, Fernando comes. Then Tennakon comes. I've been waiting now till like 33, and suddenly, Veeraman, I come there. I've heard this particular, poem going as Kuluno gunen yutu tuman sita maharu. I'm like, okay, I've had it. I went out there. What she wants to know is whether I know whether I memorized it. So I went there and I said, Kuluno gunen yutu utuman sita maharu dudana palenno edei karanatana puru. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get hammered. But as per your question, my teacher looked at me. Veeraman, podain. Lamai dakka neda. ඕගලන් ඔක්කොමලම මේ කවිය ඇවිල්ලා එකම විදියට කිව්වා. මෙයා විතරක් මේ කවිය ඇවිල්ලා වෙනස් විදියකට කිව්වා. Because currently the Sri Lankan syllabus has not thought of technology and created our educational syllabus. This is a new sphere that we are getting into. Just using technology is not going to work. So, for the future of your kid, more than teaching them technology or how to use it, you need to enhance their creativity, their emotional intelligence. Then they will survive and they'll have a future. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh. But let me open up the floor for about 2 to 3 questions. You may raise your hand and a mic will be sent to you.
My question is whether there would be a possibility of a new industry emerging, just like the hacking industry, and the use of AI, can that be threatened with something like that?
Possible, because with technology, it's like banks, for example, right? If you have an ATM, there'll be someone who's there to steal the ATM. So if you have money in the wallet, there'll be someone to steal that. So with technology, with data, everything, the more you have that, there'll be someone to steal it. So, I mean, when you look at the history and everything with technology, it's exactly as the physical world, there's always going to be a threat. But how we mitigate that threat, what information we collect, how we use that, that's the key point here. And how we, actually, as Santosh said as well, technology is a tool, It's not something that we put out there and say, hey, this technology, start using it. It's not. It's sort of like, as a teacher, how would you use that technology? How would you actually introduce that to your kids? And how you enhance education rather than actually just giving a smartphone to keep them quiet and learn whatever you want. I mean, we have seen parents giving smartphones with unblock content. You know, they have probably their bank login details and everything in the phone, but these kids watching YouTube and everything in the same phone, right? So that, to me, is a risk. And then we have, like, no matter how, like, from our side, we build these platforms, and we pass it to a school, let's say, and then their login password is called password. So that's, that's, things like that, it's out of our control. Like, you have to actually have common sense to say, if you're keeping your wallet safe in a locker because there's money in there, do the same thing with technology as well. Make sure it's locked, make sure it's password protected, and make sure your data is safe.
No, why I said was, to me, I think it's a matter of time where students will have access to internet while they sit for exams. Just like how the calculator came, next will be that. But I think we need to prepare for that as educators so that, we make the learners responsible for whatever they come up with, yeah?
I would make a couple of comments on that because I think that day's already here. So in that sense, I challenge us, and we think about curriculum, to really think about exams. And I think we need to think about what is the purpose that we are trying to assess, what does the world look like, and what are the skills that we're actually trying to assure that people have. And there's different skills. I truly believe the role of the teacher is changing substantially. And it's not the tech that actually scares most people. It's not the tech. It's actually change, right? And most people can cope with incremental change. This is a big change, right? And that terrifies us. And some people cope better with change than others. Some people love change. Other people are terrified by it, and some of us just kind of go, okay, well, how can I navigate that? But, I was just thinking about that, and I think that's what scares us, is that our role as teachers has changed dramatically from what we were. And that's the scary bit.
Thank you, Professor Deborah. So in the interest of time, I think we will have to wind up today. But before we do, I would like and encourage you to follow Microsoft, because there's a lot of teacher training going around. And so please get in touch, check out their websites, and I'm sure you will be able to avail yourselves to the teacher training. Also, Kaushal is very involved with bringing AI and AR to institutions such as yours. So please, his details are on your brochure. You may find him on LinkedIn. Is that the best place? Okay. And please get in touch, because I'm sure he'll be able to support all of you. Santosh, of course, is someone that we will always follow. And I think he's having a show this evening as well. Are the tickets sold out? Okay, right. So not this time, but we will also be organizing another show very soon. And please do buy your tickets. That's personally done by me. So that's a bit of marketing from my side. All right, so thank you very much.
Can I just thank?
Sure.
On behalf of the teachers, right? I want to say something on behalf of everyone. I think today's panel or the speakers, imagine if we just got people from universities only or teacher education centers only. Would you have got this feeling? No, we wouldn't have ever got this experience. And it's always good to bring people who are completely out of education, and for us to listen to them and see where we are going wrong or where we could do better. And for that matter, I think Bhatia, Santosh, every one of you have a huge responsibility. Because I think you all are the ones who link generations, okay? And you could speak to both generations or even 3 generations. And that experience and spending that time would be an investment for the country. So we thank you all very much, every one of you. We have Prof. Deb and Pablo, who flew down just for this from Flinders University, okay, and had very interesting discussions and whatever. We look forward to having some of their programs here. But all in all, I think every one of you, Sampath and every one of you, you are very thankful for spending your valuable time with us this evening. Thank you.
And I now invite Dr. Harshalas to present tokens of appreciation to our panelists. Professor Deborah West. Mr. Harsharandini. Mr. Santosh Veeraman. And Mr. Kaushal Gunaratna. Thank you, Dr. Alice, and our panelists. You may take your seats. Well, as announced before, please leave your filled feedback forms on your chairs. A representative from each school can collect the group photographs and certificates from the Gateway Graduate School desk at the entrance. And ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a very informative, engaging conference. And thank you all very much for participation. Looking forward to seeing you again at the next forum in 2025. Please rise for the national anthem.
Sri Lanka Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo, 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 Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo, 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 Namo Mata, Sundara Siri Varini, Surati Ati Sogamana Lanka, Janya Kanaya Nikamal Pala Guru Kiri Jaya Bhumi Ramya, Apahata Sapa Siri Sekta Sadhana, Jivana Mata, Iliganu Mena Apabhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Upave Appa Vidya, Upamaya Appa Satya, Upave Appa Shakti, Appa Hada Tula Bhakti, Uppa Appa Aloke, Appa Ge Anuprani, Uppa Appa Jivanave, Appa Muktiya Upame, Nava Jivana Gemine, Vitina Appa Pugudukaran Mata, Jnana Veena Vadavani Naragina Yanu Mena Jaya Bhumikara, Chittamavaka Kedaru Kalabalina, Yamu Yamu Vinopama, Premavada Samaveda Durarada, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata.
Thank you, everyone, and have a pleasant evening.